All right, it is time for a brand new DCEU update. All right, I've got a couple of stories I'm going to talk about today, but before I show you what I'm going to be discussing in this video, I want to address something from my last video. So in my last video, I talked about how Zack Snyder had possibly had discussions with Warner Brothers and Warner Brothers Discovery, and that he had pitched his new storyboards for Justice League 2 and 3. Well, apparently, that was a false story perpetrated by an individual on Twitter who is well known. I couldn't find his direct information, but he was doing a social experiment to show you how many channels would pick up on this story and claim it to be true or claim to be scoopers. Now, I'm going to address something here on my channel. I've never claimed to be a scooper. I am not a scooper. What I do is I scrounge the internet, I find everything I can find, and I bring you guys this information in these videos. And I'm starting to show you where I get this information from. Now, today, luckily, everything I'm showing you today is fact. But a lot of the other things we talk about, they're just rumor. And I will tell you the thing with Zack Snyder was just that. But I still think he has had discussions with Warner Brothers behind the scenes, because an individual close to this Twitter individual who knows Zack Snyder and his team says there have been no talks, no discussions at all. But let's look at the facts here. First of all, we just had Zack Snyder's Justice League released on digital video through Vudu, through other services where you could digitally purchase the movie. And I did that. Even though I own two Blu-ray copies, I got the Steelbook edition from Best Buy, I got the regular Blu-ray version from Amazon, and then I also bought it digitally on Vudu to show my support for Zack Snyder's Justice League. I'll pay for those 10 times over versus what we got in 2017. Obviously, it's Zack's movie. They had to talk to him before this movie was released digitally. I'm sure there were some discussions and some back and forth and, some things talked about. But even more proof that he has been involved with Warner Brothers Discovery since is the fact that he's going to be in a Teen Titans Go episode later this year. And they expect that episode to be freaking huge. So he has definitely been in talks with people down at Warner Brothers Discovery. Whether he has sat down with Zaslav directly or not is a whole nother story. But there are definitely things happening behind the scenes. All right, so the title of my video today is, that the DCEU is in complete disarray. And I do believe that up until this stage, and we're going to talk about why. That's going to be the last story I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to discuss the repercussions of what is going on. But let's take a look at each of these stories. So the first minor story that I want to talk about is Aquaman 2 and some comments that the guy who plays Black Manta was talking about here. And this is kind of funny. So same actor who did in the first film, and I always want to say his name. I keep forgetting his name. It's Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, okay? When he was speaking with Vulture, he talked about how basically it says, while explaining his process of working as an actor, he called his work on Aquaman clown work, noting it as something that an actor has to just get over themselves for. He says, everything should be about getting to the truth, but sometimes you've got to know which movie or genre you're in. Something like Aquaman, that's clown work. Aquaman is not the trial of the Chicago 7. You got to get over yourself. Going further into the clown comment, he looked at having to play the game and be crafty about being able to bring a role and story in order to give the audience something surprising and memorable. In order to survive and to do it well, you have to play that game and then be crafty, and when you want to surprise the audience, the director, or yourself with a little bit of wow, I didn't expect to see a Chekhovian thing or August Wilson and Aquaman, but I did. All right, so what's interesting here is everybody picked up this story as Aquaman 2 actor, basically disses on his role in it. And you can see by his full comments, and I do commend the direct for showing his full comments, he is not dissing the movie. He's not saying what he was doing was, child's play. It's still acting, but it's different. I believe he was just in Ambulance, which is an action film by Michael Bay. He was in the Trial of the Chicago 7, and he's in this movie, and this will be his second, outing as Black Manta, which is pretty cool. I think I liked him in the first movie, and I'm looking forward to seeing him in Aquaman 2. Probably one of the more eager things I'm looking forward to is seeing that character brought to the big screen. All right, so the second story I want to talk about here is Dwayne Johnson, and we've got Black Adam coming out. So what we have here is they just released this a few minutes ago, is the official poster for Black Adam. And this is a pretty snazzy poster. I do like it. Now, I don't see Superman anywhere on here, and I'll talk about that later. But they do have quite a few characters in the film. And this film is definitely going to be a smaller... It's going to be a big film, but it's going to be smaller in scope as it deals with Kandor, I believe. So we're going to find out exactly where this takes place and if it's on Earth or not when the movie comes out. But it's going to be interesting, how these worlds are going to mesh and what is going to happen. But they just released this official poster, and I just posted this on my Twitter account a little while ago. But even bigger news than that is the fact that, looks like they rearranged the order in which stuff was shown. On Thursday, tomorrow as a matter of fact, we are going to get the second official trailer to Black Adam. So right here, we're going to see tomorrow night, NFL season opener, and our new Black Adam trailer during the game. He just posted this 3 hours ago. So that's going to be pretty cool. We're going to get another Black Adam trailer tomorrow during the game. So who thinks we're going to see Superman during that trailer? I doubt they're going to reveal anything like that right away, but I do believe, let's talk about Black Adam and what's going on right now. I do think the entire DCEU is going to hinge on how well or not this movie does. If Superman's in it, I think it's going to be wildly successful. If Superman is not in it, it's going to tick a lot of fans off. So I think there is a big risk with this film. Now, I've had some people tell me that it doesn't matter, that the success of Black Adam is not going to hinge on Superman being in the movie at all, and that it's still going to be wildly successful. And I would disagree with that. I think at this stage, because everybody there hasn't been really any movies released, everybody's looking forward to something big. It can't just be Black Adam. There's got to be some surprises in that movie. We've got to get people excited for the future because we're not getting anything else until next year. So I do think it really does hinge on Superman being in the film, and it's got to be Henry Cavill. Now, I have a lot of people in my comments saying Henry Cavill is done. He's not going to be Superman. He's going over to the MCU. He's not going to have time. He's not going to have time to devote to being Superman full-time. Not true. I could tell you right now it's probably going to be his number one priority. He's always been very vocal. The one thing about Henry Cavill is he's been very vocal about being Superman and wanting to be a part of that character long-term. And if they've got a 10-year plan, what an awesome way is to bring him in and pay him whatever he wants. I think that's where they need to go with this. So let's look at the last story here. So Dan Lin is officially out as the DC film and TV unit guy. He's not going to be the next Kevin. So he is not going to be taking this role. Now, you've got some really moronic people on Twitter, one of those being, Grace Randolph. She got off on there and said, thank you, Snyder fans, for making this happen. She started to blame it on the fans. She has, no journalistic integrity at all at this stage, and she is just out there spouting things to be salty. She doesn't like where everything is going, and, she's really showing her true colors through all of this. I don't think the fans had anything to do with this. Why he's not going to be... Well, first of all, Dan Lin did make some really nasty comments about Snyderverse fans and the Snyderverse in general, and he's made some comments about Zack Snyder in the past, and I cannot repeat those on here. Otherwise, my video will get stricken. So I can't talk about those things, but you can easily find those things online. But the main reason he's not going to be in here is he has a deal with Universal, okay? And he wanted to retain some of his role in that and wanted to split it between Warner Brothers Discovery and Universal. And basically, Warner Brothers Discovery and Dan Lin, they could not come to an agreement that was going to allow that to happen. So he is not going to lead the DC and TV unit, the film and TV unit for DC Films. It's just not going to happen. So the search continues. So I want to talk about specifically what's going on with the search. So the fact that they can't find anybody at this stage is disheartening. The DCEU is definitely in disarray. There are some reports that you had David Zaslav just saw The Flash, and he thinks it's a good movie but could be better and wants some massive rewrites and other shoots. And who knows? Who knows if that's even true, if they're going to go in and toy with it to that degree. But they don't have anybody to lead the TV and movie unit. So at this stage, there's nobody. We've got to rely on Zaslav to do the right thing. And, I don't know if I want him going in and toying around with some of these movies to the degree that Warner Brothers has been doing with the DC films for many, many years. I would rather see him, sit back, let somebody else take the reins. And personally, I would like to see maybe Zack Snyder's wife come in and be the lead for the DC films. I really hope that they can see through all the garbage and bring it back and, bring it full circle here and continue these stories and continue with these characters. I know the characters are here to stay. Henry Cavill's still up in the air, but man, the fact that they can't find somebody is a little scary at this stage. Hopefully they'll find somebody very soon. We're going to need something to happen between now and October when Black Adam comes out, and we got to have some people who are going to lead this in the right direction. All right, if any more information comes out over the next week, I will be doing some more videos. I do appreciate the support. We'll see you guys on the next video.